Hi, I'm Bob Herman, Conservative candidate for Thunder Bay Superior North in this upcoming election. I was born and raised in Thunder Bay. I worked as a police officer my entire adult life, putting 32 years in serving this community. The last 11 years as Chief of Police. Following that, I spent 2 years leading the Anishinaabe Police Service, providing policing to First Nation communities in the far north. This election is one of the most important elections of my lifetime. There has never been a wealth gap between generations as there is now. Boomers who worked hard their entire life have paid off their mortgages, will have little debt, and mostly are on pensions, while Gen Z and millennials are having a tough time just trying to save enough money to make a down payment on a home. Groceries have increased by 30% over the last 5 years, and we have seen the increase of people going to food banks by 90% as well. Our platform is fairly simple. We're going to axe the carbon tax, which means that the tax that is on the goods and services that you are now purchasing will be gone. It'll be gone permanently. We are going to address housing by removing the GST off of homes that are $1.3 million or less and providing incentives to other levels of government to reduce costs. We will work to reduce crime. Crime is out of control. Violent crime is at 50% increase in this country. We will have real solutions to those problems, like stopping the revolving door for bail and to ensuring that criminals actually serve sentences consecutively. The most important thing we're going to do is build the economy. We are a resource-rich country, but those resources are sitting in the ground. We need to develop those resources and to be diverse in the world market. That's our plan. It's fairly simple, and we will improve Canada for all Canadians.
Driving across Thunder Bay Superior North, I've been reminded of how beautiful this land is and how strong its communities are. Northerners work hard, take care of each other, and want a future where life is better for everyone. I'm Joy Wakefield, your federal NDP candidate. I'm a lawyer and small business owner. I spent my career fighting to protect people's rights and jobs and volunteering in the community, and now I want to fight for the North in Ottawa. Let me tell you about the NDP's Northern Ontario platform focused on what we need right here, healthcare. The NDP will invest in more doctors, nurses, mental health and addictions treatment, and Indigenous-led community solutions for healing and caring for elders. Affordability. The NDP will cap prices on essential goods and remove GST from groceries, home heating, and Canadian-made vehicles. Tariffs. The NDP will increase Canadian content requirements, use Canadian steel and wood for federally funded projects, and prioritize Canadian workers like those at the Alston plant. We will extend EI to contractors and self-employed workers, eliminate the waiting period, and increase the benefit rate. Housing. The NDP will build new homes, offer supports for first-time homebuyers, and create stronger protections for renters. Reconciliation. The NDP will end boil water advisories, work with communities to implement UNDRIP, properly fund child welfare, and fix Jordan's Principle. Infrastructure. The NDP will establish a Northern Infrastructure Fund to help communities access water and sewage, twin highways, develop consistent standards for truck drivers, and invest in winter and all-season roads. Services. The NDP will establish postal banking so you can access financial services through Canada Post. We'll address the issues preventing access to childcare. Et on protégera l'accès aux services en français. This election, vote for Joy Wakefield, because I'm fighting for the North.
Hi there. I'm Brendan Hyatt, your Thunder Bay Rainy River Conservative candidate in this upcoming federal election. Over the last 18 months, I've talked to a lot of people in our riding, and they tell me how they're struggling. They're worried about the high cost of living. They're worried about affordability. They're wondering if they're ever going to be able to afford to get a home of their own. The Conservative government is worried about that too. That's why we're going to cut the lowest income tax bracket by 15%, thereby putting almost up to $1,800 back in your pockets. We're going to remove the carbon tax to help lower the prices at the store and the pumps. When it comes to homes, when I came to Lakehead University, I lived on Simpson Street. I had a roof over my head and I felt safe. The cost, $125 a month. We think all Canadians deserve a roof over their head, and that's why we're going to remove the GST on all new homes up to $1.3 million, thereby allowing Canadians to realize the dream of home ownership. And you seniors, the ones that have built this country, we think you deserve a break too. That's why we're going to allow seniors to earn up to $34,000 tax-free, putting more money in your pocket and helping you to live a good life in your golden years. I'm Brendan Hyatt, your Thunder Bay Rainy River Conservative candidate. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marcus Pulowski, and I'm running for re-election in Thunder Bay Rainy River. We're living in troubled times. The threats seem to be coming from multiple directions, from China, from Russia, and sadly, increasingly, the United States, our best friends, which have shown themselves in recent weeks to be at best an unreliable ally. President Trump openly talking about us becoming the 51st state. President Trump has unleashed a global trade war that threatens thousands of Canadian jobs, our economy, and the global economy. Overwhelmingly, the big question in this election is who do we want representing us, sitting across from President Trump and Elon Musk? It's hard to think of a better candidate than Mark Carney, someone who was formerly Governor of Bank of England, Governor of Bank of Canada. We're facing an economic crisis, and who better to be leading us in facing an economic crisis than someone who led Canada through the financial crisis of 2008 and Great Britain through Brexit. But politics is also very much a local thing. And over the years, I've had a number of successes. For example, getting a lithium plant in Thunder Bay, finding more jobs for Alstom, getting our government to commit to financing in the long term a new bridge in Fort Francis, finances for a new road and bridge to Pekanjikam, making it easier for foreign doctors to get licensed, to name a few things. However, in government, everything takes time. I would like to see these things all through to an end. Governments matter, and I would appreciate your consideration in the upcoming election. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yuk-Sem, and I'm the federal NDP candidate for Thunder Bay Rainy River. In this election, you don't have to choose between 4 more years of inaction or slogans with no solutions. I'm in it with the NDP to be the change that we need to see for the riding. I believe that politics must prioritize solutions over division, and that real change begins with new voices at the table. The status quo just isn't working, and it's time for new representation. As a labor litigator and negotiations instructor at Confederation College, I've fought for workers' rights and championed fair opportunities while working across differences to create positive change. I am committed to strengthening the economy with a plan to build Canadian by Canadian and ensure that the industries, businesses, and workers are taken care of and protected during these tough times. I want to make sure that we defend and expand our healthcare system, not go through any more cuts. We need to ensure that we have proper funding and proper staffing for our healthcare needs. We want to ensure that we advance meaningful reconciliation. That means finally getting all the clean water for the communities that have been waiting for over 30 years, as well as building infrastructure and investing in the economies for First Nations. I want to represent Thunder Bay Rainy River with integrity and determination. My leadership is about building a strong, united, inclusive Canada where every voice matters and communities thrive together. You've seen me at your doors, you've seen me at your events over the last 6 years while I have been fighting, making sure that your voice matters. On April 28th, vote NDP, vote for Yuk-Sem. Thank you.